Rhinoplasty was the second EP released by Primus, released in 1998, August 11th, 1998. And much like its predecessor, Miscellaneous Debris, released in 1992, it was almost all covers. Miscellaneous Debris was all covers. This is almost all covers, and I'll get into that when I get into the tracks. This was a strange time for Primus. They had a new drummer, Brian Brain Mantilla, who was a good drummer, but it changed their sound a little bit. They, despite the things Primus were going through at the time, including growing apart from each other and Les Claypool feeling like there wasn't a whole lot left to do with Primus, despite that, they were releasing a lot of stuff. 1997, they released the Brown album, which I reviewed in my previous video. This year, 1998, they released Rhinoplasty. And then the following year, which will be my next review, they released Anti-Pop. So they released two albums and an EP within 3 years, which is pretty good. I kind of miss those days, considering how long it takes them to put out albums nowadays. But I remember buying this, and I was really excited about the Metallica cover, and I'll get to that. But so let's get into these songs. First song is Scissor Man. It was originally by the band Ecstasy. Now, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the Miscellaneous Debris EP review. I'm not really going to get into the meaning of these songs or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you where these songs came from. Well, the covers at least. Where these songs came from and what I think of the original and if I think Primus did a better version or not. So number one was Scissor Man. It was originally recorded by the band Ecstasy. It was written by the leader of Ecstasy, Andy Partridge. It was on the album Drums and Wires from 1979. And they did an Ecstasy cover on Miscellaneous Debris too. It was Making Plans for Nigel. I think it might be on the same album as this, Drums and Wires, if I remember correctly. It's a pretty straightforward cover of that version. Not a whole lot of differences. Even the vocal inflections from the original, Les Claypool seems to mimic almost perfectly. It's really good. They're both really good versions. I prefer the Primus one a little more. I just like Primus' sound a little more than Ecstasy, but XTC or however you want to say it. But yeah, it's a good cover. I enjoy it. Number two, The Family and the Fishing Net, which was originally recorded by Peter Gabriel. It was written by Peter Gabriel, of course. It was on his fourth self-titled album, nicknamed Security. This is a great song. I love the Peter Gabriel version. And he also did a Peter Gabriel song on Miscellaneous Debris. He did Intruder, which is from a different album than this one. I love Family and the Fishing Net. It's hard for me to say whether the Primus version or the Peter Gabriel version is better. They're both strange. I love Peter Gabriel's strange solo years before the album with Sledgehammer and all that. All the stuff before that's really weird and I love it. And it seems to be Les Claypool's favorite time for Peter Gabriel as well. I really like both versions. That's what I can say. The Peter Gabriel version was released in 1982, by the way. Check it out if you want. It's really good. I think I might actually lean a little towards the Primus version, just because the bass, I think, is better, obviously, because it's Les Claypool. But both versions are very good, and the Primus cover is very, very good. So check that out. Number three, Silly Putty. It's an instrumental, mostly a bass instrumental. It's originally done by Stanley Clarke, who was a famous bass player. It was written by Stanley Clarke, and it was appeared on his album Journey to Love from 1975. And it's an instrumental. It's a bass instrumental mostly. It mostly features the bass. I believe there's a little scratching thrown in there on the turntable, which they did live sometimes. They used to bring a guy, DJ something. They used to bring a DJ on sometimes live during this period of their history to do a little bit of that. And I think he might be on this track. It's pretty cool. That's basically like the Stanley Clarke version. Not a whole lot more to say about it. It's an instrumental, and that's what it is. Okay, number 4, Amos Moses, was a pretty big song, recorded by originally recorded by Jerry Reed. The Primus version wasn't big. Jerry Reed version was big. It was written by Jerry Reed. It appeared on his album Georgia Sunshine from 1970, and it was a top 40 hit. It's a weird song. It's about a one-armed Cajun alligator hunter. It's pretty redneck sounding, but it's really cool. It's funny, and Primus does it pretty much just like Jerry Reed does it. It's really good. I do prefer the Primus version though. All right, Behind My Camel was originally recorded by The Police, and it was written by Andy Summers. From the album Zenyatta Mandata from 1980, before The Police became huge. And from what I read, Sting wasn't even on the original Police track. He opted out of it. So Andy Summers plays the bass and the guitar in that. I'm not a Sting fan. Pretty much anything he does, I'd stay away from. I don't like him. So just based on that, I'm going to like the Primus version better. But the Primus version really does sound better too, I believe. Alright, number 6. This is a weird one. They redid their own song, Too Many Puppies, which originally appeared on the Frizzle Fry album. If you'll remember, it's the first song Les Claypool ever wrote. And it's just a reworked version. It's a little weirder. It's got some more of that turntable scratching on it, I believe. And that's the only difference. That's slowed down a little bit. Brain is the drummer on it, and that's all I gotta say. It's alright cover of their own song. The original is better from Frizzle Fry, but it's alright. And number 7, The Thing That Should Not Be. This was the song I was really looking forward to when I read the track listing when this album was coming out. It's originally done by Metallica. It was written by James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and Kirk Hammett, and appeared on the classic metal album Master of Puppets from 1986. It's Les Claypool's a long history with Metallica. He went to high school with Kirk Hammett. He was friends with Kirk Hammett. He was actually in a band with Kirk Hammett in high school. He auditioned to play bass for Metallica right after this album, after Cliff Burton died tragically in a bus accident, I believe. And he famously auditioned for them, and James Hetfield now says that they turned him down because he was too good. Les Claypool denies that and says he is just too weird. But in actuality, I like Metallica, but he's too good to be in the background of any band, really. He needs to be up front. That bass playing needs to be up front. And I'm glad they turned him down because we might not have Primus now. As far as the cover, it's really good. And the Metallica version is really good. I like both versions a lot. I tend to listen to the Primus one more, just because I haven't heard it as much as I've heard the Metallica one. It's pretty cool. I like what it's about. It has to do with H.P. Lovecraft and Cthulhu, or Cthulhu, however you pronounce it. And the lyrics are really cool. Some of the lyrics are taken straight from H.P. Lovecraft. It's a really great song. Both versions are really good. And in that way, it's a tie for me. I really like both versions. But Primus really does fucking great on it, though. It's hard to make a Metallica cover as good as the Metallica original, especially old Metallica. So, good job on that. And so, the last 2 songs, I don't know why they threw these on here, but they're a live version of Tommy the Cat, which is a Primus song from Sailing the Seas of Cheese, and a live version of Bob's Party Time Lounge, which is a live version of a Primus song from the Brown album, which is the review I did previously. Check that out. And the live versions of the songs, they're really good. They're great live. They were both taken from the Henry Kaiser Arena on New Year's Eve, 1997. They do New Year's Eve shows pretty much every year, or at least Les Claypool does with some band he's doing. The only notable thing is the Tommy the Cat live version. They played the song called The Awakening during the middle of it, which Les does on his first side project, which was, actually I don't know if it was his first one. I'm trying to remember if, well, it was from Les Claypool and the Holy Mackerel, Highball with the Devil album. I'm not sure if that or Sausage came first, but it's on that. And so that is Rhinoplasty. It's an EP. I don't know if it's better than Miscellaneous Debris. I like them both pretty much the same. And it was cool when Primus used to do this, do some cover things once in a while. They don't really do them anymore. I really like it. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I don't remember what I gave Miscellaneous Debris. I might have just contradicted myself, saying that they're both just as good as each other. But yeah, if you like Primus, check it out. If you're interested in hearing them do some really good covers, check this out. So yeah, so that's Rhinoplasty. And it's worth noting, around this time they released a home video called Videoplasty, which featured a lot of stuff about the making of the Brown album, which is the album previous, and just some live stuff, some really good live stuff. I don't believe they've ever released it on DVD. I used to have it on VHS. I don't know what happened to it, but it's really great. They have a bunch of it on YouTube, so just YouTube Videoplasty, and you'll see some great stuff. So that's it. I'll see you next time. Check out, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter. I mean, you know I'm on YouTube, duh. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter. Check those out. I'll leave those in the description below. And, I don't know, like, share, subscribe. I need more subscribers. Gotta get these reviews out to people. Let them know about this music. And, yeah, have a great day, everybody. See ya.